This is my community service learning project. My name is Jennifer Marietta for class EEX 4070. I decided to do my learning project on 3 students with learning disabilities. One who was emotionally disturbed, one who had attention deficit disorder, and one who had autism. When I first started this project, I was very nervous and I didn't really have much experience in working with children with disabilities. I wanted to make sure that I had a positive influence on them and would be able to help them with their learning and not set them back in any way. I also wanted them to think of me as a friend and not someone to be scared of, someone that they could go to and get reassurance from, get any questions answered, and gain some confidence. When I first started the project, I first went to Lake Mary Elementary School where I worked with 2 boys. They were 5th grade and they needed help in various subject areas such as reading, math, and writing. The first boy was Matthew, who was emotionally disturbed. He was a very happy boy, but very shy at the beginning and wasn't really fond of me until I got to know him. Through time, I was able to help him kind of break out of his shell and be able to feel more comfortable in his own skin. And I was able to help him with his writing and his reading skills. The second boy was Zach. He was also emotionally disturbed, but also had attention deficit disorder. This was kind of hard because it was very hard to get his attention. He couldn't focus very well on certain topics for more than 2 or 3 minutes, and it was very hard to get him to comprehend what I was trying to get across or to try and teach him. Both boys are in 5th grade, but their reading levels were 1st and 3rd. Zach was a 1st grade reading level and Matthew was a 3rd. So they were very far beyond what they needed to be. It was very sad because they're in 5th grade and they're not able to comprehend or even pronounce simple 1st grade words. Through the next month I was working with these 2 boys, and I spent about 2 hours a day with them for about a month, 3 times a week, working with them and trying to help them develop better vocabulary words and work on their writing skills and work on them just trying to comprehend and getting their attention span to last longer than the 2 or 3 minutes so that they could learn. As time grew on, it worked out very well. I actually became good friends with them, and they gained a lot of confidence, which was great because they didn't have a lot to begin with, especially Matthew. Zach was confident, but because he has attention deficit disorder, it was very hard to get him to focus on anything, even, just talking as a friend with him. He would bounce from one subject to another or different topics. At the very end, I threw a little party for them, and we were able to bring food in and just celebrate their growth and just be happy that they're doing so well. The other person I was able to work with was a 5th grade girl named Olivia. I've known her for over a year because she has a horse where my horse is boarded. And in return, I would give her free riding lessons and help her. She has autism, and it was very hard working with her because when I would try and help her learn how to ride her horse and, be one with the horse and work with the horse, she didn't really listen. And I think it's just that she couldn't comprehend what I was trying to get across to her. My goal in the end was to help her reach her goal in horse shows. She wanted to place well and get a 1st place ribbon, and she hasn't been able to do that because she doesn't know how to work with her horse. For instance, instead of, giving the horse the reins, she would pull very hard on the bit and the horse would rear up on her. And that was very scary for her. And at times she often wanted to quit. But as time grew on, I found out I could teach different learning strategies to help her by visually showing her and then telling her how to do things. And then we'd even draw pictures of how, and even do video recorded sessions to have her watch, and so she could see what she was doing wrong. I often hopped on her horse as well to see if the horse was just having issues or was just having a bad day. But as time grew on, about 2 weeks later, we went to a local horse show in Apopka, and she got second place. I think she was very happy about that. But in her next class, once again, she struggled and she didn't place, and she was very upset. And what she tends to do is just not want to even be around the horse after that. And it's very upsetting because the horse is upset as well and doesn't understand why he isn't being rewarded, and she doesn't understand either why he didn't listen to her. So for the next month, we prepared for another horse show and just worked on different strategies with her, and she ended up doing very well at that show. I also worked with teaching her how to properly groom her horse and just to focus on one specific goal at a time. We did these horse shows in Claremont, Apopka, and we even went up to one in Georgia. So for my service learning project, I helped 3 students with disabilities. Matthew, who is a 5th grade student who was emotionally disturbed and who was at a 3rd grade reading level. By the end of this experiment, he had grown to almost 4th grade reading level. I was very proud of him after that. Zach was a 5th grade student as well at Lake Mary Elementary, and he had ADHD, and he was at a 1st grade reading level. He grew, but he was not able to progress to a whole another grade level, reading level, but he has grown and he has showed great improvement in his attention and trying to focus on the present and focus on the topics that are being presented. Olivia was a 4th grade student, and she had autism, so it was very hard for her to comprehend lots of things, and she just seemed to get very mad all the time when she couldn't comprehend things and was very stubborn. But towards the end, she learned to just listen and take what I said to heart and really try and focus on becoming one with her horse, and in the end, she was able to. This has really changed my insight to students with disabilities, because it's very upsetting to sit there and try and make them comprehend what you're saying, but they just don't get it. And it makes you almost want to cry because you don't really understand exactly what they're going through and how they're thinking. And it's upsetting because they get upset as well and they cry sometimes because they just want to learn and they just don't understand what you're saying. But through many different teaching strategies, visual and hands-on, kinesthetic, I've been able to help them grow and reach some of their goals, especially Olivia. I still work with Olivia in helping her progress with her horse shows. Zach and Matthew, I visit them about once or twice a month just to help them and tutor them, and hopefully they can grow through this. At the end of this experience, I'm actually taking away a great knowledge and insight to how students with disabilities work and how hard it is for them to try and learn something when they don't learn sometimes the same way that we're able to, and it may not make sense to them. I take away a sense of success and experience, and I know that I have succeeded in helping these children, and that makes me successful as a person, and it makes me extremely happy to know that I've helped make someone else's life just a little easier. And I hope that I can continue to do this with Olivia and maybe working with other students with disabilities at Lake Mary Elementary. This concludes my reflection on my experience, and I hope to continue this with many other students and can't wait to start teaching.